being a fitness entrepreneur sucks. Let's talk about it.
Rip and tear until it is done.
For many people, making a career and a life around fitness seems like an absolute dream. It's completely understandable. It's one of the few careers that if you manage to pull it off, it has lots of benefits for your own personal life, right? You get to stay fit and healthy, help people along the way, and in theory, make money doing so. Unlike other careers where you generally are sacrificing health in order to progress, whether that's long work hours, sitting at a desk all day, etc., there is a draw to health and fitness that I completely understand is really, really tempting for a lot of people. But the fact of the matter is most people will fail trying to become an entrepreneur in the fitness space. And when I say the fitness space, I'm talking more along the training, coaching side of things, not necessarily like owning a supplement company or a exercise equipment company or something along those lines. It's pretty horrifying to find out that the average career span of a personal trainer in New Zealand is about 18 months, but it is a fact that does not surprise me in the least bit. It is excessively difficult to make a life out of it, and the industry itself sets you up for failure right from the start. For instance, the average personal trainer is going to start off training at a commercial gym. So when they join that commercial gym, the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to ask for gym rent, right? So in order to work your job, you're paying money to be on the gym floor before you've even got a client base to pay that money back. Like, there are almost no other industries that I can think of where that exists. You come in having to spend money to figure out if you're even able to make money. Now, I've been training and coaching people since about 2003, or maybe a bit before that, so just over 10 years. And if I'm being completely honest, the only reason I'm still here is complete stubbornness. And today I just want to kind of go over why I think most people are drawn to the idea of becoming a fitness professional, fitness entrepreneur, why most people fail, and quite frankly, why generally it's not worth it. Now, I'm at a very weird time in my fitness career because quite honestly, like, there's a younger generation coming up and they see everything that Sophie and I have built and they think that we're like a dream, we're a goal, most notably because we have a gym, right? And what kind of gym rat doesn't want to own their own iron paradise? And we are very fortunate to have this. But as with anything with fitness, this can be a little bit of a facade. It's taken a lot for us to get here. Like I said, there is a stubbornness that has kept me in this industry when I probably should have given up. And I'm going to kind of pull this facade away from you and tell you why, for most people, unless there's a real passion for helping people, this just isn't really worth it. You see, most people become fitness entrepreneurs because they love this. They love the gym. But it actually plays a very small part of being a fitness entrepreneur. Ignore the banging, that's just Sophie deadlifting next to you. The love of working out is not really enough to build a business on, right? There's only one type of person that can build a business solely on the fact that they love working out, and that is the direction most people go in, and that's wanting to become some kind of fitness influencer. And who in the fitness industry wouldn't want to become a fitness influencer? You get to post up on social media, looking cool, being shredded, being jacked, doing what you love, working out, right? And maybe inspiring others. But becoming an influencer in an increasingly saturated market it's like hitting the lottery. You can have everything you need. You can have the genetics, the look, the knowledge, the charisma, and it's still not a guaranteed thing. And when it comes to running a business, there's always going to be some risk, but that is a risk that just doesn't make sense on paper. The idea of becoming an influencer in your space, right? There is an element of luck just involved in it. I've been at social media for more than 10 years. I'm not saying that like I'm pretty and I'm jacked and everything required to be an influencer, but I've never broken through on social media, and I have put in the work all the way through. That's not me whining, saying I should have. I'm just keeping it realistic on the chances of you becoming an actual influencer. And say you do manage to beat the odds and become an influencer. You start making money through your social media, whether that's being through like a partnership program on like TikTok or YouTube, or most likely through sponsorships. I would go to argue that at this point, you aren't actually an entrepreneur. You're actually just another delivery platform for another business to sell their product. You're not an entrepreneur. And this, in my mind, is particularly important for me to stay away from because of the amount of what I would deem unethical products that are associated with the fitness industry. Most notably, the overpromise of what supplements can do through the use of marketing through people that are using androgynous hormones and PEDs to actually build their physiques and build their strength, right? So I've got nothing against people that do steroids, but I do have an ethical and moralistic line I draw in the sand when it comes to the promotion of using fake natties as a way of hawking supplements to people that don't know any better, where anyone that's been in the industry knows most of it's crap. So therefore, most of the success I see a lot of influencers having in this space is, quite frankly, in my eyes, again, personal ethics, I think quite scammy. They're scam artists. And quite frankly, I think this also has to do with the fact that because there is a physical vanity aspect to fitness, the industry itself attracts a lot of narcissistic people, and therefore the path to fitness entrepreneurship, making lifting weights and working out your job, has been severely skewed by the type of people that are attracted to it. I'm currently taking a break from lifting really heavy weights and just trying to stack on a bit of size, get a bit more volume in. But because it's me, I have to do it in the weirdest ways possible. I can't just do like a traditional bodybuilding split. I'm currently writing the most chaotic plan I've written of my life. I'm sure I will tell you more about it as it actually comes out. But it has like mechanical drop sets in, which is basically like you've got 20 reps that you have to hit. And instead of stripping the weight like you would in a normal drop set, you change the leverages, right? You change the movement that you're doing to keep on going to make up those 20 reps so that you have a mechanical advantage. So in this one, I'm going from a snatch grip deadlift of blocks into a regular deadlift. And the goal is 20 reps. And if I get like, say, 7 reps on the snatch grip, I then have to do 13 conventional, so eek. That was exactly as horrible as it sounded. How does a 110 kg block pull seem so daunting? the main reasons I also could never be an influencer is I ride a bike into the gym every day, so I've always got helmet hair. It is pretty much impossible for me to look good, unless I just shave it all off. Just go bald, look like a generic powerlifter. And everyone knows bald guys look more jacked, so maybe that's a solution to my non-influencer problem I have. So I would warrant to say that there is a big disconnect between what it takes to be an influencer and what it takes to be a fitness business owner that is more service-based, more helping other people, right? Now, I'm just gonna make this like a binary black and white and just say that there is an insane level of narcissism in the influencer space. Don't get me wrong, this isn't me saying all influencers are narcissists, because I know people with big followings who are absolutely lovely. But what I am saying is that fitness as an entire concept, especially the aesthetic sides of things, the bodybuilding sides of things, it is attractive to people with narcissism or narcissistic traits because it is so self-indulging. The irony about that is if you are not able to win this like 1 in a million chance of becoming an influencer that's then able to take their exposure and monetize it into some kind of way that doesn't tread on your morals and ethics, is the fact that, for me at least, getting into fitness and coaching was all about people, right? So it was all about helping people. So if we were to look at behavior as a spectrum, the narcissistic tendencies and traits you can see in fitness are juxtaposed against the empathy that is required for coaching. And without saying that you are a narcissist if you want to get into the fitness industry, if you're leaning more towards this end and the influencer route doesn't work, then actually the more sustainable but obviously less profitable route this way on the empathy scale is a little bit more difficult to walk. Because quite frankly, coaching is all about the client. So you're used to looking at fitness as a way of making yourself look better and then hopefully inspiring other people, but that only works initially, right? You can inspire someone, but support means that you're taking a secondary role and you're making them the priority. So empathy, in my opinion, is quite powerful as a coach. It is one of the best tools in your toolkit because you can understand people and you can adjust your approach accordingly, especially if you're someone like me and any of my clients and online clients can tell you, I have quite a soft coaching style. I am quite a nurturing, emotional coacher, right? So like I really like to meet you where you're at emotionally and help along that way. However, this isn't a very sexy thing to market, and it is something I've struggled with in the past. You'll see videos of me like in the gym, slamming weights, cranking music, and being loud and obnoxious in a way that makes sense with like traditional masculine like fitness marketing. And although I might train like that at times, that is by no means a sustainable way of coaching people. And I've actually struggled to bridge that gap over the years because I like to help people, especially people that are new and intimidated to the gym, to not look at me and think that I'm scary. I know if I can coach you through like one session, I will be fine. But because of this disconnect and trying to walk this fine line of never being an influencer, caring about my clients, but still indulging in fitness like a crazy person, it has taken a long time for me to build a client base. And I think most people are going to have a very similar experience. But anyway, now I have to quickly run upstairs because I've got a business meeting with Sophie, because that's more of the stuff behind the scenes that no one hears about.
I don't think I put enough coffee in my coffee. It seems like a very small cup.
Do you add extra water?
I probably might go back down and do it. So obviously Sophie, my wife is the business partner in this whole affair. And sometimes I feel like I dragged Sophie into this world because she was doing pretty well as a makeup artist beforehand.
She is still a makeup artist.
Still a makeup artist.
Many hats.
But yeah, so she fills in a lot of my weak points when it comes to entrepreneurship, whilst having like we've got a very aligned vision when it comes to how we see fitness. We have our little perks, our little differences in how we see things. But yeah, all in all, we've got the same like vision forwards.
So like basically, we're about to have a business meeting, so I thought I'd just get some quick footage.
Rudely interrupting my business meeting.
Yeah, you see, it's like we've been doing this for so long, and we're only just begun to have regular business meetings to make sure things are going in an actual direction rather than chaotically just barreling forward. So, entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How have you found the transition from like a structured job where you obviously get paid, you know how much you're getting every single week, into this industry?
It's definitely more stressful not knowing how much you're getting paid because you can't plan accordingly. So I was a makeup artist, I still am, and work in TV, and I do weddings. And I've been doing that for 15 years. And then I just got into the fitness business, actually, I met Damien, but I didn't do my personal training qualifications until COVID hit. Just before COVID, actually. It's 2019.
2-3 years after us being together?
2019, yeah. So up until then, I was still a freelance makeup artist, but I had regular days that I was working. I've done full-time makeup. So after kind of doing makeup for so long, I think the spark wore off, especially doing TV because it's the really long hours, kind of wore off, and I was ready for a change. I was really into fitness, and Damien was already in it, so I just kind of got pulled into that world. The money side, so yeah, if I wanted to, because you were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
And not becoming a fitness professional if you're in it just for the money.
That's literally what this blog is about.
Okay. Oh, that's perfect, because definitely I now could still be working full time as a makeup artist on a TV show with regular days and making a pretty good income. However, I dropped off, so I only do the 2 days a week, 2 to 3. I dropped off the remaining days to come into this business. And actually making less money per day than I would if I did my 12-hour days working in TV. So I've chosen less money for more life. I want to say life balance.
It's not life balance right now.
We are working. When you're self-employed, you end up working way more than you ever expect. There is no days off, but I enjoy it, and I love chasing the goal and seeing something that you've made develop. So I'm choosing that over the money.
Full transparency, just to finish this off really quick. Has fitness entrepreneurship been more work than you thought it was going to be? Building a client base, opening the gym.
Yes, well, when I first got into it, we were training people out of our garage. So I wasn't really thinking ahead to that we would maybe potentially open a big business like this. So at the time, starting up, it was actually pretty easy for me. Through social media, I got quite a few of my clients.
And I guess it was still a side hustle,
and it
didn't matter.
I didn't have that pressure of I need this many clients a day. I could slowly build it while getting income from my other job. But then opening up this business, then that's where a lot of work come in.
You also got a bit of a leg up when you started PTing because I had already set up a gym.
Yeah. I didn't have the setup costs.
No setup costs.
Yeah.
No gym rent, which bleeds most people dead. Their businesses can't even get off the ground. So yeah, there were some things, but this business has whatever I think is going to take us 1 month takes us 6 months. Everything we do is achievable, but I'm time blind.
Over a year now, a year and 3 months, and we're just the whole last year was just kind of establishing how we are running, how we want to run, opening things, and now we've got our bits in place. I feel like this is only now can we start to push it and get the ball rolling on actually making a good income.
Yeah, so about getting the ball rolling, we should probably have this business meeting.
And here's a reality of actually running your own business. I recorded the rest of that video about a month ago, and I'm only getting around to finish it now because you have to wear so many hats. But let's go upstairs and let's have a chat about the hats you'll wear, why people are blindsided when they try to become fitness entrepreneurs, and why it might not be worth it unless you have the passion for actually just training and what you do and not just the money. I'm not gonna lie, it is currently 8 p.m. on a Friday night and I've pretty much lost all interest in doing this video, but I'm going to finish it so that I can move on, right? You gotta actually finish things that you have started in order for your business to progress, even when all the motivation is gone. But the first thing I want to talk about is when trainers don't have a social media following that's easy to monetize and they can make that shift super well, become an influencer, the hurdle that they're gonna run into is starting a personal training business, is the fact that in order to make money, you have to be good at sales. You have to be willing to engage with sales. And you'll see a lot of things about like cold calling and cold emailing and following up and building funnels and all these sales techniques in order to sell people high ticket items and blah, 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 blah. All of the ins and outs of sales in order to get a client base. Now, if you're anything like me, I don't like sales. I never have, I never will. I've worked in sales and I'm able to do it, but it never felt right for me to be trying to manipulate people into buying something when it comes from like a place of like fitness, you know, like I do this because I want to help people, therefore starting on the foot of like manipulating them to see how much money you can get out of and doing salesy tactics to try win them over just didn't really work for me. I wanted my work to speak for itself. So it has been a real slow burn. I always wanted a business that worked via word of mouth, and I have done it. But it has taken like 10 years and it took a lot of people taking a chance on me in the beginning, right? So a lot of PTs fail because they lack the ability to sell. You know, you pay your gym rent, you turn up somewhere, and then hopefully the gym manager gives you a few leads that you have to close. They're normally kind of crappy, you know, like they're people that have joined a $6 gym and you're gonna try to sell them $100 a week of PTing or whatever you want to do. It just, the math ain't mathing when it comes to it. If those sketchy, wouldn't even call them warm leads, don't work out for you, then you're trying to approach people on a gym floor, or you're trying to build up a social media in an absolutely saturated place, right? Now, a running theme on what I'm going to go through in order to explain what it takes to run a business on my relatively small scale, you'll see that I allude to one thing constantly. Maybe you are a person that enjoys sales. Maybe you're really good at it and you can sell someone personal training. My next question is, why would you not use those skills to get more money somewhere else? If sales is what you're good at, selling fitness is never going to make you that rich. You could definitely apply that in some other ways. And in fact, the pipeline from personal trainer to real estate agent is real. I've seen it throughout my years in the industry, happens all the time. As soon as people figure out they can sell fitness, they're like, why don't I just sell houses? It's much easier and it takes less time. You don't sell a house and then have to see that house three times a week for an hour and make sure that the house is doing well, right? The sales process is really difficult and then you have to really maintain it, right? But if you aren't gonna go down the traditional route of what personal trainers do, you're gonna have to figure out some other stuff. And for me, it has been, like I said, word of mouth, really finding my messaging for what I do. You know, it's like you'll hear it all the time in marketing, like you need your niche. And my niche is I make normal people strong. I don't care about weight loss. I don't care about bodybuilding. I'm going to make you surprise yourself at how strong you're able to get, right? I take you on a journey and I look after your mental health along the way. It's all about me, you know, leading with empathy, executing with aggression. That's my motto. That's what I roll by, and that's how I treat my clients. But my ability to find my niche is based on so much skill acquisitions and as well as the other job that I do. Because there's another little dirty secret. A lot of PTs have another job on the side, and it is something I would 100% recommend doing when you're getting into this industry. Look at PTing as your side hustle and figure out how it becomes your main hustle. But it's going to be your side hustle for a while. So make sure you have regular income to cater those down months. But with me learning all the skills I needed to start this business, I had to learn how to do like digital marketing, writing, all that kind of stuff, to the point that I actually ended up getting contracted to multiple digital agencies to help them with content strategy, copywriting, marketing angles, blah, 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 blah. And here's point number 2. A content strategist is another job I could do that would make me far more money than personal training and owning a gym does. Let alone our ability to stand out from the crowd using our brandings, our messaging, all that kind of stuff. A lot of that derives from the fact that I have a background in graphic design, so I am able to create the brand identity and the creative for this space. Again, another career that I would be able to make more money of if I just followed that. Between how much it costs to rent out a commercial facility, the fit out, and then actually maintaining a client base that's going to fluctuate through the year and not give you a consistent amount of money, owning a business like this is excessively difficult unless you have the passion to make you want to keep going. I love this more than anything else. I cannot see myself doing anything else. I have multiple skill sets that allows me to be in better, more high-paying industries, but I choose to do this. Sophie's exactly the same. She has been a hair and makeup artist for TV and weddings and all sorts of things for like 15 going on 20 years now. And once again, pays way better than we can pay ourselves out of this, but we both love this so much that it's worth going. So if you are entering the fitness industry with the intention of becoming wealthy, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying that most of us aren't here for those reasons. And while there is money to be made, it is very slow, it's very meticulous, and you're going to have to be patient. There have been multiple times in my career where I actually should have just stopped. I was broke, I was struggling, and I just pushed on and somehow survived. I wouldn't say it was a great idea, but it was an idea nonetheless. And here we are, and I've done slightly better every single year. And I'm proud where I am, but there is still so much more I need to do to make this like a sustainable long-term business. I am light years ahead of where I started, but the end goal is nowhere near in sight. So I'll never tell you don't pursue a career in fitness, don't be a personal trainer, but what I will say is know what you're getting into. It is very difficult, and even when you have made it past average, because I would say I am a bit beyond average, there is a limit that you can charge people for our services, and this limit does not seem to be moving along with inflation like every other cost. And B, it's never going to be the money maker that you see. Social media has skewered you. You think that there's more money in this than there is. There's many free tools, and a lot of people are going to choose free over hiring someone 90% of the time. It's going to take a while to actually build a loyal client base. Like I said, I've got a loyal client base. It's taken me 10 years to build it, and we're only getting the recognition now through our digital marketing efforts that we are consistently having new people apply to be members of our gym. We've been open for 18 months, and where we are in the 18 months, we thought it was going to take us about 3 months to get here. And that has been an ongoing theme throughout my entire career. Everything that I think is going to happen takes about 4 times the length of time. You've got to be patient, you've got to be resilient. You might not be rich, but you'll love your life. So yeah, that's the video. I'm glad I actually finally finished it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Let's try and get this YouTube channel going for the 300th time. But if you've watched it this far, thank you very much. Check out the links in the description, and I will see you next time. Hopefully not as big a gap this time.